All right, so who did I pick with the 146th selection in the fifth round? This is my alternative draft, Barnes University. I selected offensive lineman Christian Jones. So why do I address him as offensive lineman as opposed to guard or tackle? I really think he can play both. But I would start him out as right tackle, as your right tackle. That is a position of need for the Tennessee Titans right now. Very, very unsure. They're very unsure of who can step up and be that guy. Now, we don't know 100% if drafting Christian Jones would automatically slot him in that position to be a starter. But I do know as a prospect, he's right up there with NPF type of player, Nicholas Pate Freire. So if you draft Christian Jones, he'd be right in there with the competition. He'd be a player that could kick inside the guard, which I do think NPF should consider as well. I think he has the body type. You obviously have the coaching with Papa Callahan, the ability to be versatile in teaching the techniques. Um, he is a bit high cut. Jones is at 305. He has room to grow. He has thin lowers. But as far as a prospect, I think he has enough length, long arms to keep defenders at bay. He moves well. He had high analytical grades when it comes to the PFF and statistics like that. Just an overall great prospect, high character profile, just a player that you can depend on as well. At Texas, he was a staple there. And when you look at it from who the Titans selected, who they wanted more depth at cornerback, Jarvis Brownlee Jr. Someone that throughout the process made sense for the Titans, feisty corner. They spent quite 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 a few bucks on the cornerback position, so they doubled down again in the draft. While I doubled down with offensive linemen, and one of the reasons being, even though next year using positional potency and understanding future acquisition opportunity, the lineman class next year isn't that bad. And just like with wide receiver, you want to keep that cupboard full and continue to replenish bodies at that position and betting on players. Um, and with offensive linemen, if you see one that's talented, has the body type, has the attitude, is moldable and coachable, why not? And at that position, he's my 11th ranked offensive tackle remaining in the fifth round. Are you kidding me? In a position to where 20, 25 of those guys are taken, and you're telling me in the fifth round, my 11th best is there, and it's obviously subjective to how I graded these players. But by all accounts, this is value. The same with the previous pick in Javon Foster. Just too much value there. Didn't talk about Javon Foster moving inside. He hasn't done it. He does have the body type. He possibly could do it. So you could get two guys who could both play inside. You could get one guy that plays left, another guy plays right tackle. You could get. I don't see Christian Jones being a left tackle. And really in today's day and age, let's talk about it, right? What are the importance of what are the main differences of playing left tackle, playing right tackle, right? And listen, I haven't played left tackle or right tackle before, but from my process of learning, eliminating information that I don't need, and keeping the information that I need through years of empirical data and experimentation and learning, being a student of the game, the way that edge rushers move around, it doesn't really matter in terms of the value other than the blind side aspect of having a right-handed quarterback and valuing protecting his blind side. If you have a left-handed quarterback, Michael Penix Jr., Tua, right tackle suddenly becomes slightly more important. So nowadays, it's not like the best edge rushers only rush from their right side, offensive left side. The best edge rushers now that I see, they're really on the right side. So with that being said, it's really not you can't really put one ahead of the other than the aspect of when your quarterback is trying to throw, You want somebody that's going to hold it down because he cannot see, behind him. That's why pocket presence is important. But you never know how a play can go. So with that being said, I think taking a player like Christian Jones just gives you that much more competition at the position, more bodies there, and you got a player that can legitimately win the role. So we want to talk about protecting the quarterback, and we want to glamorize positions, and we want to make players and situations be superheroes. And I don't mean to be, sending a slight jab or to be defensive, but you could literally say Foster and Jones don't amount to Latham, but the act of doubling down on Foster and Jones, two top 10, top 15 at their position players, that's speaking volumes, right? Because the Tennessee Titans only addressed center in free agency, if I'm not mistaken. And they did get a reserve guard in Sadiq Charles. So they addressed the interior, if I'm not mistaken, and they drafted a left tackle that they want to experiment with. I would have gotten one, if not two veterans, Cornelius Lucas and Cameron Fleming, then Foster, Christian Jones, already having Lord Cushenberry and Peter Skoronsky in place. And then you got Daniel Brunskill, who graded well and played well when he wasn't hurt. I'm surprised they didn't try to bring back Chris Hubbard. He did have an injury. I'm not so sure how they feel about that injury, but overall, I'm liking how this draft is going for Barnes University. Like I said, I don't try to make it a competition, but it is an inevitable battle of thought processes. And if you look at over the years and the track record of myself, it's always interesting, and I'm super excited about how it's going to play out. So it's not really like it's more competitive than it is combative, because it forces you to operate within your truth. And I love the value of all my picks so far. And I like holistically what the Titans have done. So we shall see how all of these picks, including my 2024 offseason game plan, we'll see how it all pans out. Super excited for all of these players. Super excited for their development and how they get acclimated to the league. Who did I pick next at pick 182? Let's go.